Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Battlefield Project podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Rhoda, and we are the podcast for people who understand that life is a battle and only the strong will thrive. In a minute here, I'm going to introduce my good friend. But first, I have a favor to ask of everybody watching the show. If you watch this episode and you get any value from it and you think the message that is shared might be relevant to a friend or a family member, who might be going through something and that they could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. That's how we're growing the show. And the point of this podcast is basically to inspire everybody out there who's listening to it and show to everybody that everybody experiences some kind of battles in their life. No one goes through life untouched. The difference between people who win at life and lose at life are the people who win fight their way through those battles and have the courage and fortitude to make sure they come out on the other side. And then there's the other side of that is the victim card that, people play the victim card and woe is me and life's not fair. That's the exact opposite of what we're about here. So on our podcast today, I'm joined by my good friend here, Pedro Meneses. Did I say that right? Meneses?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. I'll take it. Quick bio on Pedro. He was born and raised in Guatemala City. From a very young age, he always showed signs of independence, leadership, and great ambition. Thirsty for answers to his deepest desires and goals, when he turned about 25, he decided to leave his country, his family, and everything that was known to him to pursue a greater dream, purpose, and a career as an entrepreneur. He is a natural-born leader, driven by passion, always committed to delivering excellence to everyone he helps and surrounds himself with. He's best known for being someone bold in his actions and always speaking and leading with the truth. As a respected entrepreneur in his field, he has also been a guest and featured on several influential podcasts. Beyond his love for helping others, he also runs a successful real estate business and Airbnb management company in Dallas, Texas, alongside his beautiful wife, Kayla, where they dedicate themselves to helping others build generational wealth through real estate. He's also the owner and founder of The Way of the Modern Beast, which is a movement and online store to help men go from good to great through self-care, self-mastery, and community. He's also the host of the top-rated podcast for entrepreneurs called Chronicles of a Modern Beast. Yes, I think that's the first time I ever we connected through Apex as friends on Facebook. But you connect with a whole bunch of people. Not everybody gets your attention. It was your brand with the nice logo with the beard. I'm like, I like this guy's style, man. So that's when I reached out to you at one time. I was like, I like what he's doing with his branding, personal brand, and everything he's got going on, man. So I'm honored to be connected with you, and thanks for being on the show, brother.
Thanks a lot, brother. Really appreciate you having me, man. When I was listening to you were talking about the purpose of your podcast, man, and you say something really, really important. Like, we all have battles to fight. You're not gonna get away from this life without having to battle some stuff. And one of the things that I like that you mentioned is that only the stronger survive. I don't think that's a big thing that we need to be talking right now in every circle. Yes. I believe men like you, men like me, people that listen to this podcast, people that are committed to self-development, this is the type of shit that we need to be talking everywhere, because weakness is the fucking pandemic that we're living right now in this world, man. Yep. It is disgusting to see around, and everything you see around is weakness, especially in men. They cannot stand up for something, and that is the real disease that we're living right now in this world. Yep. Because, man, nobody tell you that we're not going to struggle in life. Even Jesus said in the Bible, in this life, you will have trouble. Yep. So what are you expecting? To live a life without issues, not to face battles in your life? There's no purpose in that. There's no meaning in life if you don't have to struggle in things that you have to overcome. Life becomes boring. That's why we see people with obese problems, all these chronic disease and all that stuff, because they try to stay away from their battles, and that's how you become a loser, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100% with you.
So I really appreciate you doing this, man, because I think this is a great message that has to be that people needs to hear it, and I know it's gonna piss some people off, you know, but that's what the truth does. The truth is gonna piss you off, but it's gonna set you free, So suck it. Deal with it. Yeah, suck it up. Deal with it, and figure out why in the hell you're getting mad when someone tells you the truth. So you get mad because someone is telling you the truth, because that is something you have to deal in your life, and it's something that you have to solve by yourself. Because people like you and me, we can help others, we can inspire others, we can put message out there. I bring guests to my podcast too, like you do, and things like that. But none of that shit works unless you go and implement and do something for yourself.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yep. So that's why I figure there's three audiences with our podcast. We talk to people who what we say resonates with them. They kind of already get it. We talk to people who it doesn't resonate with them, they don't get it, but after hearing it, like you said, they get it, it speaks to them, and then they're willing to go do the work with that information and knowledge. And
Yeah.
then there's the audience that hears it and they're the victims, they don't get it, doesn't resonate with them, and they get their panties in a bundle. And it's easy for them to say they did it, and I'm not speaking to them. Like if they can't help themselves, I can't help them.
Absolutely. And for you guys listening to this, if you come across this podcast or this episode, I mean, there's a reason why you come across this. And the way I see it is like, if you're struggling with something and you come across an episode like this, a conversation like this, is because God is giving you an opportunity to realize that maybe there's something in your life that you have to deal with and you have to fix and you have to take responsibility of.
Absolutely.
So this type of thing, when you come across this type of things, whether that's YouTube or Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you're listening to this, understand that this is an opportunity God is putting in front of you to realize certain things in your life that you have to work on.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you to decide if you want to do something about it, to choose your heart, because at the end of the day, this is something that I learned a long time ago, man. Like you always, every single day, you have to choose your heart, right?
Yep.
And
absolutely.
People says like, yeah, but I don't like to do hard things. Well, listen, here's the thing. Being broke is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Getting rich is hard too,
Yep.
Like getting in shape, you're in amazing shape, and you don't understand how hard that is, and staying in shape is super hard. But being fat and sick is hard too. So at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do,
it's gonna be fucking hard.
Side of the spectrum you decide to go, it's gonna be hard. So choose your heart.
Yeah, it's so simple when you put it like that, but people struggle with that so much, man. Like it's so much easier just to and not for us, but people just to disregard that and be like, no, like you said earlier, like I'm gonna wait for it to get easy. Like you're gonna be on your deathbed and be like, I'm still waiting for it to get easy. Like it's never gonna get easy. It might get easier if you do the hard work, but it's never gonna get easy without that hard effort.
Yeah, it never's gonna get easy. And the other thing that people need to understand, man, there's no finish line. I think remove this idea of like one day I'm gonna retire. I know, man. Like we didn't the way I'd see it is I'm not going to work the next 10, 20 years of my life to become a billionaire and then just to retire and do anything. No, man, I want to have that kind of wealth so I can do more things, so that's it. So I can do more things for other people and help at a deeper level and things like that. But anyway, man, this is great, man. I like it.
Appreciate you, brother. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's when I launched it, I was like, there's so many good podcasts out there. Like, what's a slightly different angle that I might be able to take and kind of keep things. I mean, God, I listen to so many podcasts and they're all phenomenal. But I'm I had a guest this morning. He's like, I like this because everybody talks about wins on social media and living the life. And this is why it's great. He's like, in this podcast, we get to that point, but before we get to that point, we're addressing the fact that we all struggle. We all have battles, and it's a little bit of a different approach. So I appreciate the feedback, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And even if you do the same conversations over and over again, that you listen to different podcasts, here's the thing, man. The way you say it is going to sound different to someone else than in the way I say it. There's some people that listen to you and it doesn't click yet, but when they hear someone else say the same thing with different words from a different perspective, it clicks on them.
They get it. Absolutely.
So that's why even in masterminds like Apex and things like that, like we always see like the same topics over and over again, because it's about mastering the basics, like everybody thinks like, oh, what is the secret? What is the next big thing that I need to do? Man, there's no secret. Just focus on the basic stuff, like the basics, the little things that compound over time. That's what makes you successful. Is not all, there's no magic formula, there's no 5-10 steps, there's no these like apply here and wait for 24 hours. No, there's nothing like that, man. There's exactly. Like, and if you're someone like me, that I study a lot of stoic stuff and I read a lot of things that like Proverbs every day and things like that, man. When you read all those kind of things like ancient philosophy and things like that, it's a lot of principles that still apply today.
Basic fundamental stuff.
It's just exactly. So that's how I see it, so I think that it's important. Like it doesn't matter how many times we have this conversation, there's new people that have to listen to this, or there's people that listen to this shit for 20 times, that on the 20th time, that's the time it's gonna hit in their head.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, well said. It's that magic pill society. People reach out, they're like, how do I get ripped? And like you really want to know? I'm like 7 years of doing this same shit every fucking day. And it's like, oh, like, there's not a supplement I can take. It's like, no, there's supplements you can take to help. But like, if all you do is take a supplement, eat shitty and drink all day and don't move, like you're going to see zero progress. So yeah, man, that's
Absolutely.
what we're here for, is to lead
Yeah.
by example.
You're absolutely right, man. And like you were saying, this like the battles that people face, and I think, man, for me, one of the biggest battles was when like you just read on my bio, right? When I
Yeah.
decided to leave my country,
Yeah.
and like in entrepreneurship, like in self development, and all these groups, and you always hear the story of someone who came from poverty or drug abuse, or they went to prison, things like that, right? But that was not my case, bro. Like I
Yeah.
came from a good family, I had a good life, I went to private school. Like every year I traveled somewhere in the world. Like
Yeah.
I grew up living a good life. Unfortunately, that didn't help me when I became an adult, because it didn't. My parents, even though they're great parents, they didn't raise me in a way of. They didn't taught me how to be responsible, and then when they try, they always intervene when I fuck things up, and then they just fix it for me. You
Yeah.
know. So when you become an adult and you grow up in that way, you're being so spoiled when you're a young kid and things like that. You think that the world owes you something, and that was me. You
Yeah.
know, that was me. And when I became an adult, man, and I started to understand those things, I'm like, I try to fight it. I try to fight with my family, I try to fight with all this stuff. And when you take the time and you sit down to think about your life and why you always struggle and why you always go through different things, because my whole did I freaking hate school.
Yeah.
Like one day I have kids, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna send them to school, because I don't want a fucking teacher telling them that they cannot do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't my case, man. Since I was a little kid, I never like people telling me what to do. Like people told me that I caused issues, that I was aggressive, that I was this. Like that was the in school they tried me to put me with psychologists because he's too aggressive. They took me out of martial art because they thought that was making me aggressive. I know
Yeah.
what is making me aggressive is you fucktards trying to tell me how to live my life.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're a kid, you don't understand that. So man, at that point, I was sitting one time in my house, smoking a cigarette, because I have bad habits. And I started praying, man, because I realized, like, damn, my life is worthless. I was 24, about to be 25. I didn't have a career. All my friends were graduating from college. It was just 6 months friends back in Guatemala from trying to finish college in Costa Rica for an entire year. I failed, not marriage, but engagement. Like everything was a fucking failure in my life, bro. I'm looking around me. It's like, dude, I'm about to be 25 years old. And look at you. Like you're still living with your mom. You don't have any money. You don't have a stable job, because I thought that's what I needed to pursue at that point. Even that I was trying to do some freelance stuff on my own because I hated having bosses. And man, I just prayed for an opportunity. And that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Life is always going to give you opportunities. So like a week later, a friend calls me and says, hey man, I have a bottle of vodka, come to my house, let's have a cool night between brothers, have a good conversation. Long story short, man, in the middle of that conversation, he's like, bro, I'm going back to the US. Like he was born here, I'm going back. I'm not really doing much here. My cousin is there in Virginia Beach. He has some work for me. And that's when the light bulb went off, man. It's like, hey, man, do you want to talk to your cousin? Because actually, for the past few weeks, I've been thinking about getting the fuck out of here again.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I think my family is holding me back. And I did, and at that point, I didn't understand what alignments mean. And I'm gonna talk about this here. So, man, the opportunity showed up, and I took the opportunity. I got the flight ticket, told my family I was going back in 21 days. And it's been 10 years.
That's awesome.
Finally, I think we're gonna go back this year with Kayla, man. Hopefully by April or June. We're planning it right now.
Very cool.
Finally gonna go back.
Yeah.
But that's when everything started, man. But that's the thing. Just because I made that decision, it didn't mean that things got easier for me. Actually, shit got harder for me, because I became an illegal immigrant at some point. I couldn't work like a decent job. I was doing sales. I mean, it was a decent job. They were paying really well, but I couldn't do a lot of stuff, man. And I found myself, I was getting in trouble, especially in relationship with the wrong women and things like that. And And it was a battle, man. And here's the thing: the opportunity shows up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to live to the United States. That's freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
Then I come here, and there's so many distractions, and there's so many temptation in this country, because
Hmm.
other countries are not as open minded like here, right? So you get exposed to all these things that you can have access to, and that can become a distraction at some point. So unfortunately, I got distracted with all that shit for a little bit, but it was not until I had to hit rock bottom again that I had to figure out, like, man, there's something that I need to start changing here,
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you start asking those questions to yourself, man, I think the universe start giving, or not the universe, fuck the universe, God,
Yeah.
start giving you signs or start giving you different clues, man, along your way, And that's how I end up finding, like, looking for sales training in YouTube led me to find people like at my lab, like Ryan Stewman and things like that, and start learning from them.
Yeah.
And even at the beginning, when I didn't understand anything, man, something inside of me started clicking. It was like that seed. Every time I hear something new, it was like a seed that was planted, And eventually that seed started growing, man, and things started changing. My mindset started changing. Like I started questioning things like why I'm thinking this way, why am I doing this way? Like why I have these limiting beliefs, why I believe this negative shit about myself,
Hmm.
And then you start doing the work and you start investing in yourself, and then you realize that there's a point in your life when you realize that you're fucked up,
Yeah.
like there's so many things that you have to fix in your life. There's many things that you have to work on. It's not being your fault, because somebody put those limiting beliefs. Somebody
Yeah.
did something wrong to you, like, whatever that looks like, abuse or whatever, right? But it is up to you to change that. It is up to you to say, okay, how in the fuck I can fix this,
Yeah.
And it's gonna take a lot of work. Maybe for some people it's gonna take more work than others, but regardless, it's gonna take you work,
Yeah.
And that's when you start. That's when you find that opportunity in your life to say, okay, let's start changing things, right? But again, what we were talking in the beginning, the first thing you have to understand is somebody's listening to this, and you're in that point in your life where you know that shit is falling apart. You don't have the right people around you and all that stuff. First of all, get rid of all these motherfuckers that are holding you back.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. Sometimes it can be family. Like, I understand that, but, and I'm not telling you, like, pack your shit. Well, you know what? That's what you got to do. Pack
It's,
your
yeah.
shit and
If it
leave,
is, it
move
is. Yeah.
somewhere else, because that's what I had to do. The only way I was able to get away from my family was to packing all my stuff and move into a different country, and went through all the shit that I went for the past 10 years, man. Like, it
Yeah.
was illegal for like 4 years,
Yeah.
Being illegal in the United States is not easy,
Yeah.
have
I'd
so many
imagine.
limitations, and I had to fight through it, man. I had to do my best. Even I fucked things up, man, so many times, but God had grace me, because I could have got to jail for DUI and they would deport me the next day.
Yeah.
But thank God I have to learn. I learned those lessons in a different way, But you had to
Mhm.
figure out what to do, man. I think that's the first thing you have to do. You have to really figure out, make inventory of your circle, because that's the number one thing that is holding you back,
Yeah.
the people around you. And at that point, that was holding me back, even that we were living with the same people that brought me here for a couple of years. When I started changing things, instead of going out, I was reading books, or even if I wanted to have a drink, I would just stay home and drink at home while I was reading a book or listening to a
Yeah.
podcast or watching a video or something. They were on their own, on the same shit. And then we start like playing at different levels, man. Like, that's where the issues start, because people start seeing you with a different from they see a different energy in you, and that
Yeah.
makes them uncomfortable, because it's like you're not one of them anymore, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you can either separate from people like that in that way, which I did, or you can decide to say, you know what, let's go, let's
Yeah.
let's do something,
Yep.
But the reality is that if you don't have the right people around you, man, you gotta stay in the same place forever, so that's the most important thing. I believe I wouldn't, if I would have known before, I would have started there. But I mean, I did it when I moved here, but I didn't do that with the people that I have around me when I was already living in the United States,
Yeah.
So that is the most important thing, I believe, man, because then you have the clarity, you don't have the distractions, and you don't have nobody telling you, shut the fuck up, like just have a drink, like stop being a pussy, like, no, who do you think you are now? Like
Yeah.
you're all this good boy that you don't want to drink and party anymore. Like, they start fucking around with you like that, and then sometimes that's gonna hold you back, because then just gonna have to go because you like you feel excluded. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
So
Totally. Have you?
I
I'm
think
sure you
that's
have listening to like Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and all the crabs in a bucket, where like if you put a whole bunch of crabs
yeah,
in a bucket, one will try to climb out, and then instead of the other crabs trying to help that one get out because it's got ambition to get out of the bucket, all the other crabs pull at it and are like, no, 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 no. Like if we're in this bucket, you're getting down in this fucking bucket and you're staying in this bucket with us. That's when
yeah.
you talk about your circle, that's it, man. You're either surrounding yourself with people who will help you get out of that bucket and see a new life and new horizons, or you're surrounding yourself with people who the second they see your head pop up and you start looking for bigger, better things, they start grabbing at you, pulling you back down because they want misery loves company. Like we're all stuck in this bucket. You're
Yeah.
not getting out because I'm not getting out. And it's a tough place to be, but you got to get out.
Here's the thing, man. I think sometimes we get so attached, especially with family.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that. I'm not telling you not to dishonor your parents, because you have to honor your parents.
Yeah.
But man, my mom always told me salvation is personal. You know, so the day I die, if I go to heaven, like they're not gonna ask me, they're not gonna hold me accountable for what my parents did. They're gonna
Yeah.
hold me accountable for what I did. You
Yeah.
know, so that's why it's important to understand that there's nothing wrong if you decide to separate yourself from your family of origin. It's
Yeah.
completely fine. Sometimes you can come back to them eventually where you're a different person and you have a strong mindset, knowing that whatever they can say to you is not gonna derail you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, man, you just can't have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. And
Yeah.
that doesn't make you a bad person, because you cannot people hold you back, even if these are your own family. You cannot let them hold you back for whatever it is your purpose or whatever it is that you want to be or do in life. Because if you let people hold you back from that, guess what? You're gonna become a bitter piece of human.
Yep.
You're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be you're gonna be one of those haters out there on social media because they
Yep.
couldn't accomplish anything because they allowed their parents, their spouse, sister, brothers, friends, whatever, holding them back from whatever it is that they wanted to do. You
Yeah.
know, so you
Yeah.
have to break free from that, man. You have to move away from that. And the other thing I do believe you have to understand when you're going through your battles is don't put in obviously you have to have an end goal, what it is that you want to be. You have to create a vision for yourself, right? I think that's one of the other main mistakes a lot of people do, which is why they don't grow, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't know where they're going, right? So you need to have a vision. You need to ask yourself what it is that you want, and you need to get clear on what is the vision for your life. And even if you want to go a little bit deeper, create a vision for every area of your life. Like, what is the vision for your family?
Mm-hmm.
What is the vision for your business if you want to run a business? What is the vision for your marriage if you one day hope to get married?
Yep.
Even if you're married right now, like what is the vision for where you want to take your marriage? You have to get clear on that. But then after you get clear on that, then you go and you have to understand that it's going to take you small steps to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You break down those big visions into what do I need to do every single day to make sure I'm showing up for the business that I want to build, to make sure that I'm in a good shape, that I'm sure that I'm healthy, that I'm sure that I'm showing up for my wife and my kids, all that kind of stuff. You have
Yeah.
to understand like those little steps that we talk about. That's how you win the battle,
Yeah.
one step at a time, small things. When people try to go to the gym, and you know this, right? They try to go to the gym and expect to lose 50 pounds in 30 days.
Yeah.
And then they get frustrated, right? Or sometimes they go for 6 months and they don't lose weight, right?
Yep.
And sometimes it's because they didn't plan.
Yeah.
They didn't saw the big picture and then didn't break the picture down into what they need to do daily to compound that effect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep. Or they, to that point, they did their best to do what you just said, see the vision, break it down, but they don't have the expertise, knowledge to really do that effectively. So they like shoot themselves in the foot by being like, well, I can figure this out, as opposed to, and I'm not like hiring someone way more qualified than me to be like, hey, here's where I want to be in 6 months. Like, what do I need to do on a daily, weekly basis to get there? And being mentored or coached by someone who is where they want to be to help them figure out that roadmap. Because too many people think like, I can do it myself. I can do it alone. Like it's easy. I can Google it and figure it out. Like, and for some stuff you can absolutely, but for other things,
Yeah.
seek that help, get that help from people who've been there and done that. And they can eliminate so much of the learning curve for you because they've tested things. They know the roadmap. They can hand that roadmap to you.
Man, I 100% agree with you. And I do believe that you you cannot succeed in life by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot do shit alone. You need people around you. That's why, like I was saying, your alignments are very important, because the people that you're gonna surround yourself with is gonna determine how successful you're gonna become, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because what that people is gonna do, right? They're gonna set a standard for you, right? You're gonna look around good people, like for example, the people that we have in Apex, right? There's plenty of successful people in there. They set the bar for a lot of
Yep.
us. You know, it's like, holy shit, if he can get there, like that's what I need to go. You know,
Yep.
but in order to get there, I need to build a relationship with this person. That way, I can learn, I can study, I can see what they do. Most of these people, man, when you see the people that is extremely successful, they're not doing anything extraordinary.
Yeah.
All they're doing is the same boring shit that we were talking, you know, like the step by step every day, like showing up every day and doing that mundane stuff that nobody wants to do because it's boring.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants the flashy shit. Everybody wants the attention on social media. Everybody wants their shit to go viral, right?
Yeah.
They end up depressed because their shit doesn't go viral, right?
They give up.
They give up because they're focusing on this flashy shit instead of focusing on the daily thing that gets you there. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the other day I made a post, like a couple months ago. I made a post on one of our groups, man, where because I didn't realize in one of these websites for podcast charts that my shit is on the top 2% worldwide. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
and I don't brag about shit, you know, but that moment I did make a post and I did brag about it a little bit, you know, because
As you should.
I don't talk about any of this shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I go to work every day and I let all this shit make the noise, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a silent worker, because when you work in silence, everything that you do is gonna make all that noise for you, you know.
It
And people
speaks
is gonna
for you.
start seeing, exactly. It's gonna start seeing it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not about the followers. It's not about, it's like, because at the end of the day, man, yeah, cool, it's in the 2%, but maybe just 100 people are listening to that shit. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even if it's one motherfucker listening to it every week, I put a episode out. That's the person that needed to hear it. You know,
Yep.
that is the one person that why I'm doing this shit. Not for a million motherfuckers that you're gonna listen to it, leave you a bad review, or never implement what you're trying to teach them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you could touch one person, actually make a change in one person's life, it's all worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. We use this phrase, and I'll touch on this here because you mentioned, you know, like sometimes you have to kind of cut ties with your family of origin, and we use this phrase all the time in Apex with family of choice. So anyone that's listening, and you're like, you know, you hear the word family, and right away you think mom, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins. Like, yes, they are your family, but they are family of origin. Like you were born into that. You didn't necessarily get to choose that. But then there's also this powerful notion, phrase called family of choice, and that's you can have your family of origin in your family of choice if you're blessed to like have those kinds of people that you want in your family of choice, but you don't have to. But that family of choice it's your inner circle that you create, that you pull into you, and that you surround yourself by choice, because those are the people that are going to feed into you, that are going to encourage you, that are going to inspire you, that you get to encourage and inspire and grow with. That makes you're my second guest of the day, and the conversation on the first one, we ended on a similar topic, the importance of your family and your circle, your inner circle. And it was just like, hearing you say that again, I'm like, it's a message that obviously needs to be shared today over and over, because it's that important. Like who you surround yourself with makes all the difference in life, because they're either going to be bringing you down or they're going to be building you up. It's that simple.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, man, I think society has built this idea of you have to be faithful to your family of origin no matter what.
Or you're a bad person, which is not the case.
Yeah. But let's be honest. If your parents are a bunch of idiots that they don't want to see you succeed, you don't have you don't own them anything, you know?
Yep.
Honor them, right?
Yep.
Respect them regardless of how they treat you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep them in your lives.
Correct.
You know? Like I was telling you, I separated from my family 10 years ago, and I barely talked to my family for the past 10 years. I saw my mom for the first time at the end of 2021.
Okay.
So how to create that separation. Well, guess what happened? When my mom came here, I was scared, man. I was very nervous because I didn't know what she will say about my life, you know, because you have to put it this way. Like when I left, I left her with this idea of who I was, right? But she hasn't been in my life. She probably not even, maybe not even 10 times we FaceTime in this
Yeah.
past 10 years, you know? So they pretty much don't know shit about me because that's our thing. I have a very, very good skill of like not sharing my shit with my family. They don't even
Yeah.
know if I'm fucking alive.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not telling my like I this year I'm being communicating more with my sisters and my parents, like having my mom here for like 3 months. That was the most amazing thing. But I
Awesome.
was nervous, man. I didn't know what she will say to me or what she would think about my life. But you know what, man? She was when she left, the day that she left, she just sent me a message and it's just it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
She
man.
was like, I just want to say that I'm really fucking proud of you. You
Yeah.
know? Because it's like I cannot believe how you live in your life now and the man that you're becoming. She's like,
Yeah.
God is faithful. And because man, she realized that we were working hard every day. We were working up, we were waking up early to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
She was with us for 3 fucking months, and look how important this is. And this is a lesson for everybody. She was with us for like 3 months. 2 weeks, she being around me and my wife. She started working out. She started eating healthier.
Yeah.
Like seriously, we were go to the gym early in the morning. I will go to, at that point I was doing CrossFit. I would go to CrossFit. Kayla will go to work. She started working out with Kayla every morning.
Yeah.
Like up to this day, man. My mom, and she sent me pictures sometimes. There's a really nice park in the neighborhood in the community where she lives, and at least 3 or 4 times a week she goes out and walk for like an hour or two.
Awesome.
You know, and she's controlling her eating and she's feeling better and things like that. She listens to our church every Sunday. You know, she told me that she doesn't understand shit, but she's there.
Yeah,
you know,
she's there.
And yeah, she started doing like she has an Airbnb. You know,
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So and that just happened for the proximity that she had with us for 3 months. You know, that is the power that that is the power that you have when you decide to own your shit.
Yeah.
And change your life and start becoming better. You have no idea how much you can affect your family. You have no idea if your family of origin, for example, you don't have a good relationship with your parents, or you have no idea if you can help your own family, man, quit bad habits or addictions just by the way you live your life and the way you lead your life.
Yeah.
That's what is so important, man. I'm so big on self-leadership because that's the only way you're going to create impact in others, you know? Like even from a distance, because now my mom comes here, she sees the way I live. Obviously, every day we keep getting better, but now what she sees on social media, it makes sense to her because she sees the type of life that we chose to live.
Yep.
So everything makes sense. So it's causing certain impact on her and on my sister for the shit that they see now because they understand what I'm all about. Yeah. They don't make fun of me because at some point even they make fun of me, you know, because in my family we're bullies. We make fun of each other. Like that's you know, we're bullies to each other. But now it's different, you know. So you have no idea, man. You have no idea that it's important that you stop fucking around. That it's important that you start being so fucking weak and start avoiding your battles because if you decide to work on yourself, if you decide to overcome your own shit, if you decide to overcome your own issues, really start focusing on getting better, you have no idea the impact that you can cause even in your own family from a distance.
Yeah.
You don't have to be around them, man. Yep. You don't have to be around them to impact them. You don't know if by you changing your life, your dad is going to quit drinking, your mom start going to doing stupid shit, somebody else in your family might decide to go to rehab or whatever, you know, because that's sort of like the main issues that people deal with here in this country, you know, like addiction and all that shit. That's like the biggest shit. You know, you have no idea how much you can impact them by just doing the shit that you're supposed to be doing, getting better every day, fighting your battles every day, improving your life, improving yourself, investing in yourself, being around the right people, getting mentors, getting better, like making more money, becoming fucking financial free, man. Yeah. Like seriously, like you have no idea how much you can impact people around you just by doing those things. Regardless, you don't have to be a millionaire. Just be the example. Become the example by leading yourself first, by leading yourself with excellence. You want to extract the best in others, you have to be the best first. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
Like if you want others to do better in life, you want even your employees to do better in life, you have to set the standard and you have to lead that standard first. Because if you don't leave that standard first, if you don't do your best first, nobody else will follow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I'm going to take it one step further too with you, because what you said is, it's so true. And it's why I do this and why you do what you do and why so many people we surround ourselves do what they do. But so your mom visited you for 3 months. She became a better person from that limited interaction with you. So you've impacted a life there, and you don't know, like I always talk about the ripple effect. Like if one person watches this episode and it speaks to them and they make a positive change in their life and they start to lead by example, then they might inspire one other person, and then that person might become the better example, and they might. So your mom may have gone home, and I don't know if you have like aunts and uncles and cousins around, but like your aunt might have, your aunt or her sister might have seen her now eating healthier and walking at the park a couple times a week and been like, I'm going to join her too, because like she looks happier, she seems happier, she looks healthier. I'm going to start doing that. So then all of a sudden your mom's sister joins the fun and starts to be healthier. And then her kid sees their mom doing it, and then they get healthier. And then their friends at school see that they're doing it. And like, you just never know. That's why I feel like that's our purpose on this earth, is to lead by example.
absolutely.
Because there's a huge infinite amount of ripple effect and energy sharing that can happen by one small thing. So if you do one small thing on a daily basis over the days of your life, the amount of positive impact that you can make, it's mind blowing to think about.
Man, even Andrew Frisella talks about this, right? Like personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion.
Yep.
And outside of politics, I know he says that based on what's going on in the world right now and these fucking tyrants trying to ruin our lives, right? But outside of politics, man, it is true. Personal excellence is the ultimate way you're gonna be able to change your life and your family.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's like I was saying, like you have to set the standard, right? But if, for example, if you're trying to teach your kids that drinking is bad, but you're telling them that shit with a beer in your hand, you're a fucking idiot. No, that's not how it works. You have to live it. You have to be that example. You have to pursue personal excellence. It is easy. No, but being a fucking loser and being average is hard too. So choose it. Choose what you want to do. Because look around us, man. Look at all this weak ass generation coming behind us right now. The reason why they're so weak that they cannot defend themselves is because their parents couldn't set that standard. Their parents couldn't live personal excellence. They thought that, oh, here, send my kids to school. You guys need to take care of them. No, motherfucker, that's your responsibility. So that is what we need to change, man. And even us, I don't have kids, but I like when I come around, there's a grocery store right next to my house, really like almost right next to my house. And in that, it's interesting because the people that work there, like the cashiers, they're all like maybe 8, 17, 19 years old, and I always try to have conversations with them, and they always ask me a bunch of shit, so I try to share different things with them and challenge their thought process, because in their mind it's like they don't have the same thought process that we have, and sometimes you need to challenge those thought processes, even to get you a little bit in trouble, but if that can be a seed, like that can later down the road, like start flourishing and change someone's life. So I believe that's why it's important, man.
Yeah, when you talk about setting a standard, I say that to my wife all the time. I'm like, our kids are going to dominate in life because like we set the standard, and like, sure, they're going to screw up, and I'm good with that. Like, I hope they screw up because that's how you learn from your mistakes and stuff. But like, they're going to have such an example for my wife and myself, like to look at and be like, okay, like dad and mom put in the work every single day. Like dad and mom love each other. Dad and mom take care of each other. Dad works out all the time. Dad has a good business. Dad like helps other people. Like they're going to win in life because we're setting that example for them. We're setting the standard. And it might not be instant, but like they're gonna watch it every day of their life, because every single day of my life I'm gonna do that for myself and for them. So it's an exciting thing to be part of, man.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're hearing that, man.
Yeah, man. That's like you said, the and that's what our parents were like, oh, our generation was so much tougher than yours, and now we're like, oh, our generation is so much tougher than. But I feel like it really is. Like the generation coming up is like they're bombarded and assaulted with lies, propaganda, and all that. Like we didn't. I don't know how old you are. I'm
They're
40.
making these kids cut their dicks, man. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that
Right.
wasn't happening when we were little kids. Like we were playing in the streets with our kid like
Exactly.
friends on bikes and like baseball bats and tackling each other and getting cut. Like that was fine. Now it's like don't, tackle someone because you'll get charged with assault. And it's like it's fucking football in the backyard. Like I'm allowed to tackle my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man, because we don't talk all that much, but like, I watch your social media stuff. I know what you're doing. It's fun to see you succeeding and leading by example, man. That's why I just want to surround myself with people who lead by example. So then that rubs off on me and I can do my best leading by example as well.
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, I know we
Yeah,
don't
man.
talk much, man, but I know, like, that's the thing. We are in the same circles. You're
Yep.
busy, I'm busy, and sometimes, like, sometimes that support comes from far away.
Yep.
Just like seeing each other stuff, sharing each other stuff, and things like that. You don't necessarily have to be like involved in everybody else's
Yeah,
life. Like I'm fucking
totally.
busy, and you're super busy
Yep.
too,
Yeah.
man. I barely have time to breathe, but
Yeah.
when you're intentional and you start managing different skills, like managing your time correctly and things like
Yeah.
that, you make time to go back to people and talk to them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
So
Yep. Cool, brother. Well, where can people find you online if they want to connect with you and be inspired by you and just learn from you?
yeah, man. So easily just go to Pedro Meneses online. That's pretty much a website that I have set up with all my links to social media, calendar,
Perfect.
all of our businesses, all the shit that we do.
Okay.
That's where you find everything. So yeah.
Okay. I'll share
Also
that
links
in
to
the
the
show
podcast and
notes.
all that shit.
Beautiful. Yeah, when I put this on
Absolutely, man.
YouTube, I'll put that in the show notes so people can click on it and connect with you on whatever platform they want, man.
Thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot for having me, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out, man. Thank you for everything you're doing for the world, man. We're leading the way for the weaker generation to get stronger. So I appreciate the encouragement and the friendship, brother.
Yeah, that's our duty, brother. So you're doing a
Absolutely
great
is,
job with
man.
your kids too, man. So
Awesome, man.
keep
Thank
being
you.
that example, man.
Cool. And yeah, if you're watching this, please share it with your friends and family. Like I said, I have a feeling this one was going to resonate with quite a few people. I appreciate the support, appreciate the encouragement. All you out there listening, appreciate you, Pedro, and I'll see you all on the battlefield.